Look at that. Hello, everybody. It is February 2023. It's Valentine's Day. So
Wow.
happy Valentine's. We love you. Thanks for joining us in our special Share the Love Valentine's Day concrete CMS
a
Townhall.
Spectacular. A Valentine's Day spectacular.
That's right. This is a quick one this month where we're just going to check in on lots of stuff that's been going on our end. So if you have questions, you better ask them now because it's a full morning and we're going to keep this thing snapping along. So, news. Number one, we are working hard on 9.2, Concrete 9.2. Andy, do you want to talk about what's going on in there and
Sure.
and all that?
Yeah, there's a lot in there as there always is when we do one of these sort of these releases that is not a sub point release. The biggest feature in 9.2 has got to be the REST API, which has been in the works for a long time. We've kind of had the bones of it in Concrete Core since the 8.5 days, but have not really fully committed to the exact sort of definitions of all those methods in the core, and that is changing in 9.2. We have a full featured REST API with support for pages, users, express objects, and a lot more. There's lots of videos and things of that nature on the YouTube channel to walk through how that's going to work, but that's really exciting. And then in addition to that, we've made a number of user interface improvements. Nothing huge, doesn't really change the experience that you're used to, but should
changes my experience. Bro.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't change. You don't have to relearn anything, I guess I should say, but it should make things a lot smoother just as you go about your day-to-day concrete things. And it's one of those things where when you have to go back to a previous version, all of a sudden you're like, oh God, this is not as delightful to use. And then in addition to that, there's a ton of other things in there as well. And we should be getting a release candidate for this out before the end of the month. So look for that. That's very exciting stuff.
Very exciting. So yes, there'll be a release candidate, and that is when we really need, as always, more of your help, my lovelies. So those release candidates go nowhere if you guys don't grab it and gals, download it and beat up your sites with it. We got to know, does this work with all these weird edge cases that exist in the open source community? So be on the lookout for that 9.2 release candidate, and please test it when you get it. In other news, let's see. I want to share my screen. Boom. No sooner did I post to our forums, hey, I think we should kill Slack because it's kind of a wasteland and we don't want to pay for it since they don't keep our old data around. Then Discourse version 3 came out, which has, would you believe it, chat. So here I am chatting with Evan in our staging environment, and you can there's channels that you can chat in as well. So you can put together a couple of people and be like, let's just figure this thing out and do it collab style. Super cool. So this is in staging. I think what we're going to be doing here is kind of backing up off of the navs must always be the same approach, and really treating the forums as, hey, they're forums. Like, you've been to forums on the internet, you know what those are. So we'll have a slightly more attractive back to concrete link up here in the top. But really, we're going to try to run with stock Discourse as much as we can. We want to make it easier for ourselves to upgrade this thing. We made some tweaks to their theme and tried to kind of like pony their profile into the community profile and stuff that made sense when we were kind of speaking in a void 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. But they keep rolling out these sweet new features. We want to make it easy to upgrade. So be on the lookout for our forums to upgrade to new Discourse. Has this nice sidebar that you can get rid of, very configurable, and we're going to do everything that we can to just kind of bring all the features of Discourse and let you configure it the way you want. Like, if you want to run it in light mode, we'll make sure that our logo looks good in both. So there is the philosophy on that. Also wanted to call out some of the work that Evan and Mike are doing with all of yours help in documentation. So the documentation areas are improving every week. Most recently, we fixed an issue that we had where these legacy links to API pages were broken. causing no end of frustration to somebody who's like this close to finding the answer they're actually looking for, and then you get a broken link to the detail part of the API. So these links should be working better. Mike's been going through and updating a bunch of them, and there's some engineering work we did to make them evergreen. Also have been getting some great content from you all. So just gonna slide into our first thank you from the documentation. Thank you, Vassy98, for giving us a bunch of content for this upgrading concrete CMS page. This came from the community. I was able to put this stuff together, update our official page, and simpatico. Thank you so much. That is great. Good to see the documentation getting better every day. Additionally, I will point out that every Friday after our staff meeting, we have a delightful sesh called Find Out Fridays, where the newer devs ask questions of the older devs, and we've been recording those. So if you can suffer through our internal banter and exciting constant state of discovery, you may find some wisdom in these Find Out Friday videos that we've started posting to YouTube. We have a backlog up on them. I think there's more than 2 up there, but there's certainly, we've been doing this for a couple months now. So good tidbits. And often we get into kind of like why some of this stuff is the way it is. Those more complicated questions of how did this become as confusing as it may be superficially, and then you get a little bit of backstory and see, oh, actually, this makes a lot of sense. I just need to kind of think about things from a different perspective. So look for Find Out Fridays and YouTube. All right. That's the big news. I have some other stuff to talk about later, but do we want to get into thank yous?
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
Yeah, let me grab this agenda. Yeah, like Franz mentioned, thank you, Vassy98, for working on the docs with us. And then thank you also to Donat and the Portland Labs crew for keeping that documentation evolving and always accurate and really improving in a nice way. And then thank you in GitHub to lauratinnel, webpresso-ch, hissy, vivinci00, luigi23n, spektred, Mathijs-Zuiderlicht, aohlrogge, JohntheFish, RobinS-Zuiderlicht, Sixtematic, baardev, katzueno, deanL-zuiderlicht, and yildirimmurat. And thank you for code submissions to mlocati. itsmeashim, Niko, Lucki, and JohntheFish. Thank you all for helping get this 9.2 release out. It's been a minute since we've done one, and really excited to get that in the people's hands.
Yes, thank you, everybody. We say it every month. It's never less true. It's really cool to be part of something that is bigger than any of us here. So on this day of loving others, just wanted to say a special thank you. You're special to us. Also, in that vein, let's see if I can share my screen. Do 2 things at once here. Boom. Every month we have the Golden Baton, this delightful badge that gets passed from one community member to another, that we call out an individual who has gone above and beyond and helped make concrete what it is today. There's this list of Golden Baton recipients. You can see a legacy of, well, some strange image choices, but that's cool. All these people who have won it in the past. Last month with Mr. KarlDilkington. It's actually a fine fellow from Cleveland, where I was born and bred, that happens to love one of my favorite TV shows as well. So thank you, Karl, last month for all the help that you provided people in the forums. In picking somebody to pass the baton to this month, we kind of reached into the past about who has given a lot from more than a decade that concrete has been around. This individual has been an active marketplace developer. Everybody knows their name. They are a world traveler. Actually came and met us in Portland at one point. Went out and had a bunch of beers and a good time with this fellow. It was always very impressive. I was always very impressed, like traveling with his family, like a digital nomad is the word. saw him kind of take a step back from concrete for a year or two, and now has reemerged and is doing a bunch of active development, which is great. So this month, we would like to give the Golden Baton, the $250 site credit, and our deep appreciation to JB1. Congratulations on a well-earned recognition of being a great community member. Okay. Nothing from the PRB this month. John, Nor, and Enlil have been eagerly awaiting new submissions, and nothing dramatic to report. So we're going to not have a video to play. But what I will do is show some cool stuff. So been talking about this the last couple of months here. Let's go full screen. Can I do that? Yeah, boy. So before this, it's not a call, whatever this is, before this show, I came and set up a new site. So if you can go to get started, try it now, put a little thing, you got to wait for this little forever to go. So I didn't want to make you guys all suffer through that, but just click this. It was awesome, worked, and gave me this website that I am loading in a new tab. There you go. Already logged as an admin. So if you don't know, you should know. It's a great way to just quickly show somebody concrete. We've had this demo server up for months now, and we've been slowly turning this into a SaaS platform we can do hosting on. And one of the things that has kind of quietly soft launched here that we're going to be kind of making more front and center. Some of this interface will change, but I want to show you all this. If you go to your control panel and you go to Browse Extensions and you dig into Themes, you'll see there's a bunch of themes here. So these are kind of the best and brightest out of the marketplace. These are themes that we are cherry picking out that we know work well, have sample content, are going to give people delightful user experience. We will never have everything from the marketplace in here. So it's always going to be kind of the walled garden in the middle. And you can see I have not put in a credit card. I just set up a demo. And it's letting me know, hey, you can add this to your site. You're going to have a trial period, but after that, you can pay by the month or pay by the year. So if I actually click the button, yeah, there we go. You can see it now kind of associates this theme with my site. It then goes and puts it into the actual site. And if I come into Extend Concrete, we're again going to add some links and some videos to make this a little smoother because there's a couple steps involved here. But you can see I am installing the Modena theme, and I didn't have to download it, buy it. I didn't have to figure out how to FTP it up to my cPanel box. I can just try it, enjoy it, and if I'm able to build something that I like, then I can keep it, and it will just happily add it to my bill. So very cool. Come back here once this thing is done doing its thing. So we've got a few themes in there already. We're going to be adding a couple of add-ons. If you were ever wondering, gee, the marketplace seems like a great way to kind of augment some of the services work that we do, but is it really worth my while if people are just buying a theme for $30 and then I got to answer their support questions for the rest of my life? Well, now you don't. Now you can sell these things in a SaaS capacity. As you saw, there's both a monthly and an annual option here. It is a good way to actually get some recurring revenue you can depend on coming in. Oh, that's disappointing. I bet you this thing has actually installed, though. Come on, compelling demo. Here we go. We believe. Fingers crossed. It's doing something. Well, we got pretty close. I wonder what happened here. Oh, there we go. So installed it. Took a while on the sample content, but you can see that is working. So there you go. SaaS hosting is coming together, and call to action. You should be thinking about packaging up your best work for the marketplace. So we can offer it to the public. When we did a survey some time ago, we found that the vast majority of people running concrete sites are not doing custom code. They do not need some of our more complicated DevOps posting solutions. They just need a simple website, and they just want things to work. So this should really help get concrete in front of people faster. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and come back to just sharing our delightful faces. It looks like we do have some questions that have come in. Let me see if I can post them here. How do I do that? I do like a banner? Create a banner. Okay. Oh, that's a lot.
Sort of a CNN style experience.
All right, well, hello. I've been using concrete for many projects for many years. I now have a problem that many sites no longer run with PHP 7.4, but version 9 also has bugs with PHP 8. When I switch to PHP 8 on a 9.1 site, I get errors. I'm going to lose this scroller. Is there a solution? This is a good question. Let's see. I can provide a little bit of context, and then maybe Andy wants to add some more detail. I would say, first off, explore PHP 7.4 LTS. So there are long-term support versions of PHP. There are other projects like Ubuntu that have very capable developers who look at the PHP project and say, are you actually doing any security issues that we should really be worried about in PHP 8? If so, we will backport them to PHP 7. So if the if the immediate concern is, oh my goodness, my host no longer offers PHP 7.4 and my sites are gone, you don't actually, you can get around that. You can move your site. Either of the budget hosts that are listed on our hosting page, A2 and HostDash, offer 7.4 LTS, as do many others. So this is not a sky is falling scale of problem. That said, you should be upgrading to Concrete version 9, and you should be running PHP 8, which we do quite capably without suffering through too many errors. You might get some kind of strict formatting issues, and I'll let Andy talk to some of that. But I do believe, depending on the custom code that you're running, it's entirely possible to have a smooth experience on PHP 8 and Concrete version 9 latest.
Yeah, so as Franz alluded to, PHP 8 changes the severity of a lot of errors that we kind of used to rely on in some of our older code, kind of relied on certain behaviors just not triggering an error or just being kind of ignored. And that is no longer the case in PHP 8. So in version 9, we are cleaning this up in the core. And so I'm happy to report that we are running 9.1.3 throughout a number of sites, and there might be some corners where it has issues, but by and large, it is stable and working well under PHP 8. Now, that being said, you may have to do the same sort of auditing of any add-ons that you're using, because those are certainly any of these kind of cleanup routines that we have to do to make the core code a little bit more strict, compliant. You'll have to do that with add-ons as well. So that might kind of impact inform whether you run using PHP 8 or not. So yeah, as Franz said, PHP 7.4 LTS is perfectly viable and reasonable option and secure as well. That being said, if you've got add-ons that you can manage or running stock concrete, definitely explore PHP 8 because it is faster and really nice as well. And then also don't be afraid to reach out to the developers of your add-ons if you're finding that parts of their add-ons are not working under PHP 8, because we want to make sure that all the add-ons that are being sold in the marketplace do eventually get modified to work under PHP 8 in a nice and stable way.
Nice. All right. I feel like that's pretty well explored. Oh, look, we're getting some comments. Hello. All right. Next question. We got some questions coming in this doc. See if I can do this in not a ticker format. What does this do? That's better. Is there a reason the old bug tracker is still active? Google is indexing and finding results. There's been no post for years. Has never updated or used past 8.5.4. Yeah, that's a great question. We built a bug tracker on concrete CMS. Or it was concrete5.org back in those days.
Yep.
And then we moved everything over to GitHub. So I think the answer is no, and it should probably just go away unless I'm missing the value of legacy content.
No, it should go away. We should redirect that page away, or
pointed at GitHub. submit your issues there. Yeah, so I think that's an easy win. We can do that. Good point. At least a couple other points that I won't put up on the screen, but hey, can you update this contribute to concrete patient, not point to it, and some stuff around marketplace guidelines and stuff. Yeah, it seems all very doable. I will toss that stuff to Mike and Evan and get some of that stuff cleaned up, because some of those old marketplace pages have not been touched in quite some time. Okay, anything else? Those are the questions I see in this doc. That is what I see in the comments area. And I think that is about what I know about this on this lovely Valentine's Day. It's beautiful here in Portland. We have 17 inches of fresh snow last night. So it is a wonderful spring. And yeah, we love you. And we'll see you in a month. Thank you very much, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.